I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site. Here we go again. China's stock market problems are dragging down markets across the globe.
Global markets are seeing red as California gets hit by El Nino. Despite the wild weather, the sun is still peeking through. A beauty giant unveiled a nifty patch for tracking UV exposure. And two small-cap biotechs are inching higher on positive trial data.
Welcome to Small Cap Nation. I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square. Wall Street is waking up to another wild morning. We're seeing a global market sell-off, again led by China. China shut down its stock market after a 7% drop in 29 minutes. The circuit breakers kicked in to stop trading there. However, Chinese regulators say they will not use those circuit breakers tomorrow. It is the second time this week the Chinese market has been halted due to a free fall. Now, in addition to weak economic numbers this week in China, the regulators there are letting the currency fall, and that is making the selling worse. U.S. markets are pointing to a sharply lower open. While WTI crude oil has fallen below the financial crisis lows to 12-year lows. Well, Finish Line is closing up to a quarter of its stores over the next few years, about 150 total, and they are also replacing the chief executive. The company is facing declining sales and supply chain disruptions. Now, shares of the company, which have declined 25% in the past 12 months, dropped 18% on Thursday, as the company also posted a deep loss for the third quarter. The athletic shoe retailer said current president Sam Sato will become its next CEO, succeeding the current chief executive Glenn Lyon. JCPenney logged a 3.9% increase in sales at existing stores during the holiday period, the latest sign that the retailer's turnaround is taking hold. The strong showing during the crucial holiday shopping season comes in contrast to rival Macy's, which is slashing thousands of jobs and shutting about 40 stores. Macy's blamed a warmer than usual winter for most of its sales decline. Now, for its part, Penny said warm weather did significantly affect apparel sales during the last 2 months, but the company said its strong online showing and focus on private brands helped boost sales. Groupon is adding a new portal that could bring in millions of new customers. In conjunction with the start of the huge annual Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas this week, Groupon said its entire marketplace of local deals will be available to drivers in General Motors cars that have OnStar, the in-car safety, security, navigation, and connection service that launched in 1996. Well, lots of small cap companies making news today. Here's a look in today's small cap wrap. Expo revenue missed estimates. Royal Gold sold 61,000 ounces of gold in the quarter versus 34,000 a year ago. Globus Medical's 2016 sales missed estimates. Rail car maker Greenbrier hit record revenue on low energy costs. Mistra's second quarter earnings and revenue beat estimates. New Tech Business Services had its share lockup expire today. Tetralong terminated a drug study after missing the endpoint. Zumiez boosted fourth quarter sales and earnings above estimates. Well, Mankind said it was ending its pact with Sanofi to sell Afrezza, the inhaled insulin treatment, and that will be effective by July 4th. The ending of the Afrezza partnership means Mankind could be close to financial insolvency, as it is short on cash and in deep debt. It said the companies would promptly begin transition talks in order to effect a smooth and orderly transition in the development and commercialization of Afrezza from Sanofi to Mankind over the next 90 to 180 days. And the Notorious B.I.G. once upon a time famously sang, "Mo money, mo problems." While anyone across the wealth spectrum might argue that statement, a new survey finds that even millionaires argue about money with their spouses. About 1 in 4 millionaire couples argue over money. That's according to this survey. It was done by PNC Bank. And those that do argue are more likely to be unequal contributors to the household finances. They tend to be younger and still working, and are more likely to have attained the majority of their wealth through an inheritance, divorce, or legal settlement, and are less likely to have disclosed their finances before marriage or living together. In biotech, two small-cap companies advanced on trial data. Dynavax reported top-line results from a phase 3 study for its Hepatitis B vaccine. So does this mean the vaccine could hit the market in the near future?
Hi Jane, Dynavax Technologies announced that its experimental hepatitis B vaccine met its goal in a late-stage study. Hepatitis was found to be safe and effective. According to Dynavax, its vaccine was more effective than Notorious B.I.G, which is a vaccine that is currently on the market. In type 2 diabetes patients, the response rate of patients who received hepatitis was 90% versus patients on Notorious B, which was over 60%. Now, for the phase 3 trial, HBV23, the Hep B vaccine results will see Dynavax resubmit its marketing application to the FDA by the end of March this year. Now, back in February 2013, an earlier application was rejected. The company plans to address issues raised by the agency and respond to chemistry, manufacturing, and controls issues in a complete response letter. As for the review process, the company expects a 6-month FDA review period.
What about the financials of Dynavax?
Well, there are 4 analysts who currently cover Dynavax, and all rate the Berkeley, California-based biopharma as a buy. When looking at the company, there are both positives and negatives. Dynavax has no debt, which is a good sign, but its net income is nothing to write home about. The clinical stage biopharma has a market cap of over $785 million to date. As for the stock itself, its monthly and year-to-date performance stands in negative territory. Now, Dynavax has underperformed the biotech industry in the latest quarter, but it did see a bump in the return on equity in the same quarter compared to the year-ago period. And at the same time, revenue for the company slid by a double-digit percentage point.
An overseas biotech company trading higher on the NASDAQ, uniQure, announced gene therapy data from an early-stage result. Now, how promising are those results?
uniQure presented results from an early-stage study of AMT-060. It's a gene therapy for patients with hemophilia B. The Dutch biotech reported that 4 out of 5 patients treated with AMT-060 were able to discontinue a routine treatment for the condition. Hemophilia B is caused by the deficiency of a gene that is vital in blood clotting. At the same time, 1 patient saw a rise in liver enzyme levels and was placed on a shorter treatment. Now, the company is one of many that are attempting to find effective treatments for hemophilia. uniQure is one of several different groups developing gene therapy treatments for hemophilia. Other companies include Baxalta, Biogen, BioMarin Pharma, Dimension Therapeutics, Spark, and Sangamo Biosciences. Now, Baxalta is the only other company that has produced early clinical trial results so far.
Straight ahead, we head across the pond for a look at what's happening in the European markets when Small Cap Nation comes right back.
Good. Very good. You see something moving off the shelves, and your first thought is to investigate the company. You are Type E. Yes, investment opportunities can be anywhere. Or not. But you know the difference.
E-Trade's barcode scanner. Shorten the distance between intuition and action. E-Trade. Opportunity is...
Before they sat down, one more time, just for themselves. Before the last grandchild graced the stage. Before Katie and her husband hit that rough patch. Before Kevin finally came home and the first grandchild arrived. Before the sons-in-law, daughters-in-law, and Brad's brief brush with the law. Before the second British invasion. Before Katie, Debbie, Kevin, and Brad. Before they became a family. There was a connection that started it all and made the future the wonderful thing it turned out to be. We know we're not the center of your life, but we'll do our best to help you connect to what is.
Sometimes the present looked bright, sometimes romantic. There were tears in my eyes, and tears in my eyes. And so many little things that we learned were really the biggest things. Through it all, we saved and had a retirement plan, and someone who listened and helped us along the way. Because we always knew that someday the future would be the present.
Every someday needs a plan. Talk with us about your retirement today.
Graham, how have the European markets been behaving today?
Well, the China news flow and falling oil prices continues to depress the European markets. After closing down last night, they've continued downward today and are currently 2 to 3% further off. So we're looking at quite a loss on the week. At the same time, in fact, the euro's bounced back from the 07 region up until the mid 08s. But the pound continues to weaken. Interestingly, the markets don't seem to reflect the data today.
And is there more data?
Yeah, and it's mostly mildly positive. German factory orders rose 1.5% in November month on month. Both domestic and foreign orders were up by 2.6 and 0.6% respectively. Retail sales in Germany also rose month on month, year on year, as did retail sales in France. And in the euro area overall, they increased by about 1.4% in November over the same month in the previous year. So small, limited, but all growing. And at the same time, business and consumer confidence in the euro area showed an increase in December. And the unemployment rate in the euro area decreased by a small amount of a percentage in November also. So the euro area news is not really all bad. And never mind the stock market, the Halifax Price Index for housing in the UK increased in December in the highest gain in 4 months. Year on year, prices went up 9.5% in the 3 months to December. So, not a bad investment. And there's quite a lot more data tomorrow. So we'll see how that shapes up.
Oh, Graham, what are we looking at today?
Jane, you remember that we have on a couple of occasions talked about orphan diseases and the advantage to farmers of addressing these.
Yes, do you have another example?
Not exactly, but I came across a report on the subject which I thought would be of interest to our viewers. It's called Diseases, the Pharmaceutical Landscape and Opportunity Analysis, which has been undertaken by a company called Roots Analysis Private Limited.
And who are the Roots Analysis?
Well, they provide market research and consulting in the pharmaceutical industry, and they specialize in analyzing areas which have lacked quality research so far or require a more focused understanding with the broader industry, of which this report is a good example. As we know, the enactment of the Orphan Drugs Act in the US and EU emerged as a groundbreaking and provided necessary support to guide research focused on rare diseases worldwide. Orphan designated drugs are granted important incentives which include market exclusivity and fee reductions. This regulatory assistance has provided a strong impetus to the pharmaceutical companies and has led to their active participation in the market. Collaborative agreements and partnerships among pharmaceuticals and other active organizations such as Eurodis, Nord and Global Genes are also playing an important role in addressing the needs in this market. The report is a comprehensive study of the market of drugs being developed by the top pharmaceutical companies for rare diseases. One of the basic building blocks for analyzing the market was to prepare an extensive pipeline of drugs for rare diseases. The focus of the study was confined to 50 large pharmaceutical companies which invest a proportion of their R&D spend on drugs for rare diseases. The pharmaceutical companies were profiled to get an in-depth view of the work being done by them in this domain. Profiles include a general overview of the firms, financial performance over the last 5 or 6 years, and current marketed and clinical pipeline products specific to rare diseases. With such a robust pipeline pace, they then analysed where the industry's current vision lies and highlighted a number of efforts which have been taken by pharmaceutical companies, healthcare organisations and other stakeholders, specifically the market potential analysis outlines key patient demographics and underscores potential areas anticipated to emerge as major revenue generators for pharmaceutical companies. In addition to the above, they also provided their own independent perspective of the key drivers of growth in this market. GFX off, camera on. More details can be obtained from the company's brochure. The main chapters of the report cover Chapter 1 basically outlines the range of diseases. 2 provides a general introduction to the subject. 3 provides a comprehensive market landscape of drugs in development. Chapter 4 offers a discussion of 6 most popular indications targeted by drugs under development. Chapter 5 provides detailed company profiles of the top companies. And Chapter 6 summarizes the overall report with a recap of the key takeaways on where the market they believe is heading in the mid to long term.
So what is the relevance to our small cap world?
Well, as we know, there are a number of small cap pharma companies involved in this area. And if they know where the large companies are concentrating their efforts, then there are opportunities for our small caps to either focus in those areas, not being researched by big pharma, or alternatively to seek to develop solutions that big pharma would be interested in purchasing. A winner either way. Well, that's it for today from Graham Brown, Small Cap Nation Europe. Good day.
We'll take you to San Francisco next when Small Cap Nation comes right back.
Everyone works hard for a reason. Working together, we can help you prepare financially for when 2 becomes 3. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
You want to be the best investor you can be. You want to cut through the noise of an overwhelming amount of analysis. You want the insights that will help you decide which ideas to execute and which to leave behind. You want your trades executed in 1 second or less, guaranteed and routed with institutional quality technology. Look no further. Open an account and find more of the expertise you need to be a better investor.
When I got the phone call that we had received the grant, I held my breath.
To have a program like this is a big reward.
Being a Chase Mission Main Street grant recipient is a game changer.
One of the biggest surprises in starting a small business is the number of hours we should work for the first 20 years.
One of the great things about this grant is that it is going to let us invest in some additional inventories.
It's going to allow this business to go to the next level.
Being a recipient of this grant, we can't be thankful enough.
It's a dream come true, and I'm still in awe.
Well, we're seeing a slew of CES announcements with the annual trade show in full swing. A beauty giant unveiled a product that pushes the company into a new category of wearables. Can we expect L'Oreal's UV patch to hit store shelves this year?
An unexpected player has emerged onto the wearable scene. L'Oreal's technology incubator unveiled a smart UV patch. The stretchable patch is shaped like a heart and measures UV exposure. Now, the company worked alongside MC10, a stretchable electronics company. The 1-inch diameter patch stretches and adheres to any area of the skin, and it must be worn on exposed skin. It's then like a Band-Aid and comes in at 15 microns. Now, users simply snap a photo of the patch and upload it to an app to determine the amount of UV exposure. It works on iOS as well as Android devices. Now, the patch itself contains flexible electronics and has small blue squares that will fade as it soaks up UV rays. It lasts for 5 days and can be discarded in regular trash. The company says it is environmentally safe to dispose of in the trash bin. And as for the debut of the patch, expect it to come to the market by the end of 2016.
With L'Oreal's foray into the wearables market, can we expect more of those types of products from the company?
L'Oreal and Irish engineering firm PCH created the UV patch. PCH also creates other wearables. Now, the UV patch will be given away with products from L'Oreal brand La Roche-Posay. There are about 10 more wearables that are planned in partnership with PCH. So expect to see more innovative wearables that could help the beauty brand up its sales.
And Amazon is entering the semiconductor business and selling its very own ARM-based chips. Why is the world's biggest online retailer getting into the chip-making market?
Amazon is expanding its products under its own brand. It is entering the market for chips for computers and gadgets. Now, Annapurna Labs, a subsidiary of the web retailer, announced it has developed a line of chips called Alpine. It will sell chips to manufacturers and data center operators. The semiconductors are based on designs from ARM Holdings. They can be used to create products or be embedded into IoT devices. Now, Amazon acquired Annapurna Labs back in January of 2015, and the Amazon Web Services cloud computing unit continues to hire semiconductor engineers. Now, the entry of an Amazon subsidiary into the chip market may be poking at Intel's dominance of data center infrastructure. The Annapurna chips are not available directly from Amazon's main e-retail website. Annapurna Labs' Alpine semiconductors are not targeted at high-end servers that support Intel's business, but they are designed for devices such as low-power computers for storage and networking.
Listen up, investors. What to buy, sell, or hold, our daily segment on what the experts are recommending when Small Cap Nation returns.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So hat-trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up their number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight, fight. Come on, fight. Can't stop me now. Come on, Serena.
Back to the top. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're going to stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
Well, lots of activity in today's buy, sell, hold action. Allscripts was raised to outperform at RBC Capital Markets. Community Bank Systems rated new neutral at Piper Jaffray. Cousins Properties was raised to outperform at Robert Baird. Citrix got a hold rating at Jefferies. Genesee and Wyoming cut to sector perform at RBC. Iberia Bank was rated new neutral at Piper Jaffray. MBT Bancorp also a new neutral at Piper Jaffray. Olin was upgraded to a buy at Nomura. Piedmont cut to neutral at Robert Baird, and SAIC raised to outperform at Wells Fargo. Thanks for joining us on Small Cap Nation, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, check back for the latest news and research on smallcapnation.com, Facebook, and Twitter.